everyone, and welcome back to another great edition of Simone with the Sports. Today, we have a very special guest. We have the host of Chalk It Up Sports Talk, Charge It to the Game, Tone DeShields. Tone, it's been a minute since we collabed.
Definitely has. You know, it's funny when you reached out to me, I was thinking to myself, hell yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I kick with Symone? She out here doing a lot of great things, for one. And, you know, for two, I really admire your work. I really admire the work you put in, you know, not just as a woman in this thing, because we know it's male dominated, but the reality is I feel like you're doing better than a lot of guys out here. That's just the reality, though. That's just me, you know, giving you the humble brag. But overall, I appreciate you again for just allowing me to grace your platform. So I'm ready to have some fun.
Of course. And, you know, you be out here, you be putting in the work too. We be seeing you out here. Can't name some names, you know, because, you know, little controversial names, but we can see.
For sure. You know what's funny? It's funny. I look at it like this, right? You know, everybody got their own way of going about the content game, man. The best thing I could do is try to remain me throughout.
Right.
And also hold those people accountable whenever I got the opportunity to chat with them. So I felt like I held it down to the best of my ability. And, you know, the reality is, you know, I'm on my own now. And I started out on my own. I'm back on my own.
Oh, you left?
Well, I can't really say left, more so. Let's just say, unfortunately, had to part ways, which was not by way of my decision. Let's just put it that way. But at the end of the day, again, I came in on my own and back on my own, and I feel more powerful. I feel more energized than ever. And Chalk It Up Sports is thriving better than ever. The people rocking with me still. And I'm ready to build Chalk It Up Sports to a brand that's up there, you know, rocking with yours. So I'm ready to have some fun again, man. Let's talk these Eagles. Let's really get it in.
For sure. And of course, always invest in yourself, invest in your own platform is always, of course, the best route, in my opinion, because nobody can take your platform. Nobody can tell you what to do with your own platform. So we already know you still headed to the top regardless.
I agree. And for a brief moment, I lost sight of that for a brief moment. But regardless of what went down over there at Jacob Sports, regardless of what went down over there.
That's how you pronounce it, because I always said Jakeem.
But no, that's funny as hell. My mom used to pronounce it like that too. I had to check her a couple times. But yeah, regardless of what went down at Jacob Sports, the reality is I learned a lot. I learned about what to do. I learned a lot about what not to do. Made a lot of great connections. And regardless of how it went down, I don't regret nothing. I don't take it for granted. And you know, it like I said, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, and it put me in some rooms with people that I never would have met without it. So overall, it was a moment. It was a stepping stone. It was a season, and I got the tools. I got the keys. Now it's time for me to start building my own doors and building my own table.
Period. Well, let's go ahead and get into what we have to talk about. So the biggest shoe everybody is waiting to drop is Haason Reddick. Now, it's being reported that the Eagles want too much than these other teams are willing to give. It's being reported that Haason wants more money than other teams are willing to extend him for. Do you see a scenario where Haason stays in Philly, or do you feel like he's going to be gone? It's just a matter of when and where.
Haason Reddick's situation is very interesting to me because I understand what the Eagles are trying to do, and I also understand what he's trying to do. First and foremost, I'm always for a player trying to get the most they can get, right? I'm always about a player maximizing their value. Haason Reddick has been one of the most dominant edge rushers in the NFL, especially over the past 2 years, but he's been one of the most consistent over the past 4 years. I think there's only 2 edge rushers in the league, including him, that had 4 back-to-back seasons of double-digit sacks. So I got to give credit where credit is due when it comes to Haason Reddick for being consistent, and not only being consistent, but being consistent in 3 different organizations. You can't take that away from him. And that's something that he's riding on, and that's something he's trying to leverage. I mean, 30 sacks in 2 seasons with the Eagles, you can't deny that. You can't deny the production. But from the Philadelphia Eagles perspective, they look at it like, well, at the end of your current contract, you're going to be 31 when that season starts, or when your new contract kicks in. So you're going to be 31. You're looking for north of $20 million I don't know the exact number, but if I had to guess, I would imagine Hassan is looking for something close to 25, between 22 and 25. I feel like that's probably reasonable in his camp. And the Philadelphia Eagles looking at it like, well, when that contract kicks in, you'll be 31. On top of that, you're undersized at the position, 6'1", 240. So when you put all that into the pot, and then you think about the people who are making that kind of money, you got Myles Garrett making big money. You got Nick Bosa making that kind of money. I mean, there's so many edge rushers at that position who are bigger than him, more versatile than him, and some would argue maybe they're equally as dominant. But again, these teams, these organizations, they're thinking about 2, 3, 4 years ahead. And Hassan Reddick's game is truly, truly predicated on his speed. And when you're an athlete, speed is the first thing to go. And this is me not trying to disparage Hassan Reddick. This is me trying to look at it from the Philadelphia Eagles perspective. Me personally, I think Hassan Reddick is a great Philadelphia Eagle. I would love for Hassan Reddick to still be a Philadelphia Eagle. That's just my fan side talking, right? I want Hassan Reddick in Philadelphia. That's the one thing I want, because I feel like Hassan Reddick with Bryce Huff, with Josh Sweat, hopefully Nolan Smith can get his situation going. I feel like that combination would be deadly. But here's one thing, Symone, that we got to really pay attention to. The reality is the Philadelphia Eagles made it very clear from the get-go that Hassan Reddick was a rental. Let's think about all the moves they made leading up to this day. They drafted Nolan Smith the following year, right? Then, on top of that, they gave BG his money. They restructured Josh Sweat and gave him $10 million up front. And then you sign a slightly bigger, a 6'3", 255-pound ascending edge rusher in Bryce Huff to a 3-year, $51 million deal. They're giving everybody their assets. They're giving everybody their money except for Hassan Reddick. So they're telling you that their actions have always told you that Hassan Reddick was always a rental. So I think ultimately they know he's exceeded that contract, but they know they have a limit on what they're trying to pay him. Again, I want him here, but I don't really see a scenario where he's going to be happy playing on the contract that he currently has. And I don't see the Philadelphia Eagles as a team that's going to budge.
Do you see him holding out?
Holding out is always interesting, because when you hold out, at the end of the day, you're losing money.
Right.
You're losing money. And could he do it? I feel like, I'll put it to you this way. I feel like holding out is a young man's game. When you're coming off that rookie deal, okay, hold out. You're young, you're solidified, somebody's going to pay you, right? But 29, going to be 30 when the season starts, going to be 31 when the 2026 season starts. I can't really see a situation where he holds out and it makes sense for him financially. Now, look, I don't know his financials. I don't know how he's moved his money around. The last thing I want to do is pocket watch. But holding out, I don't know if that's going to be the smartest fiscal decision for him. The funny thing is, Josh Sweat's contract, his contract ends the exact same year. But the Eagles, I personally believe the Eagles came to Josh Sweat and said, look, we understand your contract is coming up. We know you don't have any more guaranteed money. On top of that, we also know you're not really coming off of your best season. And we know that knee has bothered you here and there. How about this? We'll restructure the contract and we'll give you $10 million on the arm, give you $10 million up front. These players look at it like, well, if the guarantee money going, you willing to give me $10 million and I ain't did nothing yet? All right, I'll take that security. So Josh Sweat is in a little bit of a different situation, but Josh Sweat is reading the room like, look, I may be 26, but anything can happen in the NFL. Let me get that money right now. Hassan Reddick looking at it like, well, sure, I probably could restructure. I probably could take some money up front, but this may be my last chance to really cash out. And I feel like I'm one of the best at the position. So I'm never going to be mad at him for really trying to get what he's owed.
So what do you think would be a good get back for Hassan? Would you be happy with a 3rd round pick?
It's funny you said that. I was asked that on my live stream a couple times. And me being me, I'm trying to maximize the value of the player the same way he's trying to maximize his own value. So if Hassan Reddick is as valuable as the fan base says he is, I'm trying to push for at least a late second, something. I need a second and I don't know, maybe another pick, or if you're only willing to compromise for a third, okay, I need a third and a player. You know what I mean? Fans say, hey, Hassan, he's done this, he's done that, he's super productive, he's one of the best edge rushers in the game. Okay, cool. Act like it, because a lot of fans kept saying, nah, Hassan's not worth a second. But y'all talk like he's worth the first.
Right.
So I'm just trying to understand the energy that the fans have when it comes to his value. I want a second round pick for Hassan Reddick. If I can't get a second round pick, I want a third and a player. So I think that I think that's where I'm at with it.